Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. To start off, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'm so happy you're all here and have come to be a part of my tribe. Here is the same stamp set that I showed you in the last video. If these go up in order, it is the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous from Halloween 2020. You can see I also showed you this and how to do the texture paste in the last video. I'll try and leave a link for that up in the iCard or in the description box below. We are going to go ahead and stamp that same image. I'm going to show you how I achieved that multi-tonal, I guess the brown and the green look. This is the card background panel we are going to be using for this card. This is a pull that I made earlier, and I used a diamond or harlequin stencil. I also used texture gloss paste, which I did show you in the last video, and I tinted it yellow and ran it through that stencil. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute. Here are the inks. I used the same brown Lawn Fawn Doe ink, Distress Oxide and Rustic Wilderness, and Fossilized Amber. And I did mention this in the last video, but when you put the additional colors on, you can go ahead and use your finger to smooth it out so that it will not leave harsh lines. Here is one that I did where I did the brown and speckled egg blue, and I had started to film a video and I didn't put embossing powder on all of it, and it didn't turn out right, and I heated it too long. So we'll set that aside. It may make it too hard, I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the one that I decided to use that I was much happier with. So here we are. We have it in our Misty. Here is that premium dye ink pad from Lawn Fawn in the color Doe. And we're going to open our Misty here, hopefully soon. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move it over. This stamp does have a lot of lines and detailed spaces, so you will see I have cleaned it as best as I can get it. It does not matter. It won't affect the stamping. I just like my stamps to look clean. But here we go. We just put the brown doe ink on the premium dye pad, and that is a premium dye ink, so it is not going to be water reactive like the Distress Oxides. If you're worried about staining, your stamps will still stamp the same. And there I added just a little bit of green, and I believe next I will be coming in with the Fossilized Amber. When I was all done, what I had to do was just take a towel and wipe off the Fossilized Amber because it did get some color on it, and it seems to be just fine. So I believe we're going to go ahead and stamp this down. We will be heat embossing again with clear embossing powder. Here we go. And when you use your Misty with the red rubber stamps, you want to take out the foam so that you get the best impression. And I am just using the cuff of my sleeve and making sure I put even pressure over all of that to get the best impression possible. And here it is still a little light for my liking, so I will go ahead and ink it up again, but you can see how the brown and the green colors look. So here I am. You can't see all of it, but I am just doing that same thing. There we go. We're in frame now. And I'm going to put the brown ink down again, and then I'm going to do the green and the yellow. And once again, I'll wipe the yellow Distress Oxide ink pad off after I am done. So I believe I come in with the colors green and then yellow. Let me know if you like this kind of creepy, I guess, darker side of Halloween, or if you're all a cutesy Halloween person. And here you can see I'm just wiping it off. Right there, I'm showing you that I'm doing that. There's a little bit of green left, but I think it will be just fine. You don't have to do that if you don't feel comfortable with it. But I didn't seem to have any problem with it. And you'll see we get a much darker impression this time. And again, I did the same thing that I talked about in the last video. I stamped it down. You can see up there on the right hand side the curly cues on the hair and the curly cues on the mustache. So there we are. We have a much darker impression. This time I believe I do show you the heat embossing. I use a little container that You can see right here, it fits the coffee filters perfectly, and that's so that you can put the embossing powder. It will fall into the coffee filter, and then you can filter it right back into the embossing powder jar. A jar of embossing powder will last you a long time because you can filter it right back in. So here I am just making sure it's all completely covered so that we will get a good impression. And you can see that it doesn't look as bright, maybe is the right term. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out the heat gun. And you want to make sure you let your heat gun heat up for at least 30 seconds before you bring it to your project. And here shortly, hopefully you'll be able to see it change. And once it changes, you'll know that it's embossed. Like I said, make sure and let your heat gun heat up for at least 30 seconds and don't leave it in one place too long because you can burn your project. It is only paper and you don't want it to burn. You want it to just melt that embossing powder, and you can see up in the hair that it is starting to change. I'm so glad that you all decided to join me today. Again, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. That way you're notified each time I upload a new video. I'm so grateful that you're all here to be a part of my tribe. And it was getting a little hot, so I just turned it around so I could hold it at the bottom. And now I'm doing the bottom of the stamp, and you can really see how shimmery that green is right there down around the mouth. So I'm just going over all of it, making sure to move it around quite often so that I can make sure it is all completely embossed. If you are not sure if it is completely embossed after it has cooled for a second or two, you can run your finger over it. If you do feel any granules, then you will want to go back and heat those. Again, this is the panel that we are going to be putting this gentleman on. And I'm explaining that I cut off the curly cues and I stamp on the panel. I will go ahead and say goodbye. I appreciate you all joining me. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.